We've all gotten used to AI tools like ChatGPT, right? They're amazing. They can draft emails, write code, brainstorm ideas. It's all incredibly convenient. But what if I told you that convenience has a hidden cost? That it comes with invisible strings attached, and you're handing over a lot more than you think? Let's dig into what that really means for you and your data.
This is the big question, the one we all need to start asking ourselves. Every single time you paste a sensitive document or a private thought into one of these cloud-based AIs, you're sending it to a server somewhere that you don't own and you don't control. So the real question is, what happens to it after you hit send? And that brings us to our first major point, these hidden dependencies, the invisible strings that come with using AI as a subscription service. It's not just about paying a monthly fee, it's about what you're silently agreeing to give up in return.
This slide really lays out the trade-off, doesn't it? On the one hand, you get convenience, but on the other, you're operating inside someone else's playground, by their rules. You're subject to their censorship. You're dead in the water without internet, and worst of all, your data, your valuable information, is often the very fuel they use to train their next, better model. And when you put the two models side by side like this, wow, the difference is night and day. With Cloud AI, your data is used to train their systems. It's always at risk of being leaked, and it's totally useless without Wi-Fi. But with local AI, the whole script gets flipped. Your data is 100% private. The security can be totally airtight, and it works anywhere, anytime, completely offline. This quote from the source just hits hard because it's the absolute truth. It's not an exaggeration. The second your data leaves your computer, you've lost control over its destiny. For all practical purposes, it's not really yours anymore. It's a one-way street. Okay, so if that's the problem, what's the solution? Well, this brings us to a really powerful idea, the need for all of us to claim our privacy sovereignty. So what is privacy sovereignty? It's the goal. It's not just about keeping things private, it's about having absolute ultimate control. Think of it as digital independence. Your thoughts, your data, your AI tools, all of it, operating entirely inside your own world, on your own terms. And let's be clear, we are not talking about your grocery list here. We're talking about the high-stakes stuff. Imagine you're handling a sensitive financial file for a client, like this Swami Jewels example, or your own family's medical records, your personal tax returns, your company's secret code or R&D. This is exactly the kind of information that should never, ever, ever touch a third-party server. And this is where the local AI approach gets really, really powerful. With a local model, you can literally pull the plug on the internet. You can go fully air-gapped. And when there's no physical connection to the outside world, there is a 0% chance of a data breach. It's the highest form of digital security that exists, period.
But total privacy is really just the beginning. The advantages of running AI locally spill over directly into your day-to-day workflow, giving you a kind of freedom and speed that the cloud just can't compete with.
Oh man, we have all been here, haven't we? You're totally in the zone. You've crafted the perfect prompt, you hit enter, and you get that spinning wheel of death, or a server busy error. It's a total productivity killer, and it completely shatters your focus.
Now, contrast that with the local workflow. You hit enter, and the response is immediate. Bam! There's no network lag, no waiting in a server queue for your turn. It's just the pure, raw processing power of your own machine talking right back to you. This is a game changer when you're on a plane or somewhere with bad Wi-Fi. Your AI is always on, always ready.
Then there's this little issue, the refusal problem. How many times have you asked a totally reasonable question? Maybe you're a writer brainstorming a story or a researcher testing a sensitive scenario, and you get that polite little lecture. As an AI model, I cannot. It's frustrating. Local models just get rid of that. They are unfiltered tools that respect your intent and just follow instructions.
And here's an advantage that is so underrated: version locking. With Cloud AI, the model you rely on today could be secretly updated tomorrow, and not always for the better. Sometimes they get nerfed. Your perfect, dialed-in workflow can just break overnight. But with a local model, you own the actual model file. If you find a version that works perfectly for you, you can keep it and use it that way forever.
Okay, so this all sounds fantastic, right? Privacy, speed, control. But there's a reason everybody isn't doing this already. There is one pretty significant hurdle you have to get over.
So let's just address the elephant in the room. What's the catch? What does it actually take to get all this power running on your own machine? What's the real price of admission for this level of privacy and control?
Right. The number one barrier is hardware.
Now, smaller models can run on pretty much any modern computer. But if you want the kind of performance that can go toe-to-toe with the big cloud services, you're going to need a powerful graphics processing unit, a GPU. That's the main upfront investment for building your own private AI powerhouse.
But hey, don't let the hardware talk intimidate you. Getting started is actually a lot more straightforward than you might imagine. Let's just break it down into a simple 4-step guide.
Seriously, it's this easy. 1. Figure out what kind of GPU you're working with. 2. Download a free, super user-friendly app like LM Studio or Ollama. These tools make the whole process incredibly simple. 3. You download your first model. And 4. That's it. You can start your new, totally private, totally offline workflow. Okay, let's switch gears for a minute. Let's say you need to justify buying that new GPU to your boss or your company's IT department. How do you frame it? Well, think of this next part as the business case for privacy sovereignty.
The strategic benefits are just crystal clear. First, you get total data sovereignty. You eliminate the risk of leaks and breaches. Second, you guarantee uninterrupted productivity. Third, you unlock uncensored R&D. And finally, you shift spending from a never-ending operational expense, those monthly subscription bills, to a single, one-time capital investment.
The investment is really simple to explain. The main cost is the hardware, the GPUs. The secondary cost is just a little bit of time for setup. When you compare that to paying subscription fees for an entire team, month after month, year after year, well, the math starts to look pretty good.
And the return on that investment? It's massive. You're mitigating the insane financial and reputational costs of a potential data breach. You're getting real-world productivity gains for your team, and you're unlocking a huge competitive advantage by finally being able to use AI on the sensitive, proprietary data your competitors can't even touch. And so we end right back where we started. It all boils down to one simple question of control. When the keys to your most valuable information, your most creative ideas, and your most critical work are on the line, who do you trust to hold them? Some faceless corporation halfway across the world, or yourself?